Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Today I want to talk about how Jeff Bezos and Amazon are in cahoots with Citadel and DE Shaw to short AMC into the ground so Amazon gets an easy buyout and they all profit. Guys, be sure to put your tinfoil hats on for this one and stay tuned and let's make some money. But guys, before I dive into the video, I just want to give a massive shout out to the 4,500 of you that have currently dinged that notification bell, because you guys are always the first to watch a new video as soon as it's released. So guys, be sure to drop a like down below, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell if you haven't already so that you don't miss another video just like this one. And just a quick one before I dive in with the key information, be sure to check out the links down in the description below to get those free shares with Moomoo and free trade, and to join the private Discord and become part of the team, and to pick yourself up some cool merch just like this. And now I want to dive straight in with the key information. So, Amazon, Bain Capital and Citadel bust out the competition. So what's a bust out? In a bust-out scheme, the identity and credit line of a business are used to obtain loans and goods with no intention of repayment. In some instances, businesses are created for this sole purpose. In others, legitimate businesses are acquired and used for the fraud. In this post, I'll go over what I believe is a scheme set out by Amazon to capture and kill companies for market share. The scheme involves Amazon identifying a target, and with the help of its gang members Citadel and Bain Capital, or most likely DE Shaw, it busts out the target using it to capture and kill other competitors in the process. This could effectively be the reason why Amazon has managed to grow so much over the last 20 years with almost zero competition, and they've been bankrupting pretty much every potential competitor in the process. Who is now the biggest retailer of kids' toys? Amazon. Who did it used to be? Toys R Us. What happened to them? Bankruptcy. What about movie rental platforms? Well, it used to be Blockbuster. Now it's Amazon and Netflix, and actually Amazon even used to host Netflix as well. What happened to Blockbuster? Bankruptcy. Clearly AMC is one of Amazon's only remaining competitors, and now Amazon is trying to do the same to AMC. So in the beginning, Amazon acquired the competition legitimately. Amazon has been known for capturing market share of just about every single sector of the retail space, and now it has its eyes set on movies. And maybe even at one point wanted to get into the gaming sector as well. Amazon started relatively small, and it set its sights on easy targets: books. But Bezos wasn't actually interested in just books. He wanted to create a company that was so big and so dependent on retailers that retailers were dependent on it. And the reason why Amazon, Citadel and DE Shaw are working together is because by naked shorting competing stocks, hedge funds can then reinvest those proceeds, the profits that they make from the naked short, into Amazon stock. Essentially, Wall Street steals money from a competitor's market cap and artificially inflates the price of Amazon stock. I believe this is the largest successful financial scam pulled in history. Amazon stock is the highest percentage returning stock in the last decade. Amazon was only $43 a share at the 2008 lows. And obviously Amazon now trades for around $3,463 a share, so that's a fairly good return. What's that, like 10,000%? But first we have to rewind the clock and understand Jeff Bezos, the mastermind VP quant of DE Shaw. So what is a quant? A quant is short for quantitative. In Wall Street speak, it describes a process of using mathematic modelling and high-frequency trading to identify and act on trading opportunities. In short, quants specialise in calculating probability and risk. Hedging positions and shorting stocks is commonplace practice in quantitatively driven fund portfolios. So Bezos saw a business opportunity by creating and controlling a company that had strong relationships with Wall Street. A company that was willing to act in blatant anti-competitive fashion, possessing an understanding of the complex practices that inflate Amazon's market cap. A company could rely on private equity doing their dirty work by targeting competitors through leveraged buyouts and naked shorting. So after graduating from Princeton, Bezos found work at several firms on Wall Street, including Fintel, Bankers Trust, and the investment firm DE Shaw. In 1990, Bezos became DE Shaw's youngest vice president. And Bezos actually started funding for Amazon while he was still working as a VP at DE Shaw. And Jeff Bezos said that I was living and working in New York City. I came across the fact that the World Wide Web was growing very fast and came up with this simple idea to sell books on the internet. I went to my boss David and told him the idea. And therefore it's clear that David Shaw was aware of Amazon's concept before it went public and had an active interest in investing in the web space and managed DE Shaw, employing quantitative strategies during this time. Now, just in case you didn't already know, in 2013 DE Shaw has previously violated short selling regulations, and that's how Jeff Bezos and DE Shaw linked together. And therefore it makes sense if a private equity hedge fund like DE Shaw intentionally exercise their relationship and capital to destroy Amazon's competitors deliberately through leveraged buyouts and naked shorting, so Amazon could capture their market share while DE Shaw invests their profits from the naked shorting back into Amazon and make even more profits. But obviously for DE Shaw to naked short AMC, they need some help. And that's where Citadel comes in. Citadel can create and sell fake shares, driving the share price of a targeted company to the point of either being delisted or bankrupt or both. When this happens, Citadel keeps all the money it makes from the short sale, never having to cover their shorts. And I think by now you all understand how this works, so I'll leave it there. So basically, Amazon has been using Ken Griffin to naked short companies in order for Amazon to steal market share from current and future competitors and to just bankrupt them and remove them from the space. Ken Griffin's also a fan and a frequent investor of Amazon, so it makes sense for Citadel to help Amazon out as well. And then DE Shaw, that same quant hedge fund where Jeff Bezos became the youngest vice president, says about Citadel, and it says we cross paths with them all the time and they are huge. And that was as far back as 2001, way before Citadel's widespread success. And therefore that's how DE Shaw and Citadel link together as well, and how Jeff Bezos is the glue holding the two together. But what will we see if Citadel had followed this playbook, where we'd see some of the old OTC stocks of dead companies squeeze at the same time an idiosyncratic risk would emerge in a basket of algorithmically shorted securities? Basically, with companies like Sears and Blockbuster, when they went bankrupt, they were bought out by firms like DE Shaw, and their stocks still technically trade on the OTC exchange just for pennies on the dollar. And therefore, Citadel and DE Shaw do still have shares in these companies on their books. They're obviously just worth basically nothing, and that's why no one really notices. But obviously, as idiosyncratic risk increases, they have to reshuffle portfolios, and it could cause a squeeze or a mini rise in price in those OTC stocks. And would you look at that? Sears and Blockbuster, both bankrupt companies listed on OTC markets and former Amazon competitors, squeezed at the same time as GameStop and AMC back in January of 2021. Now, call me crazy, but I'm going to speculate that the public isn't investing in those stocks, investing in Blockbuster on the OTC exchange. So how is Amazon connected to Blockbuster, you might ask? And he had the same question. Surprisingly, I forgot about Amazon's biggest business, Amazon Web Services and Amazon Prime Movies. I bet you can guess who was providing web hosting for Netflix around 2010 when Blockbuster went under. Yes, Amazon. And therefore, Amazon may be behind all of this. It makes sense. There's a reason why rumours have been flying around for months of a potential buyout. Obviously, there was an article that came out a while ago saying that Amazon was planning to take over AMC. And it makes sense because it would just eliminate even more competition for Amazon. And they wanted to short AMC to the ground so they could purchase AMC at a cheaper price. And effectively that's why Amazon are shorting AMC with the help of DE Shaw and Citadel as well. Citadel are creating the synthetic shares and naked shorting. DE Shaw is going to be the fall guy to buy out AMC and declare bankruptcy. And Amazon walks away being the number one competitor and the only competitor in that space. But why do they all do it and how do they all profit? Well, I think that's how this scam works. They borrow, say, Blockbuster stock or AMC stock, sell it to short it, and as long as they maintain the short position indefinitely, they never close, and from a tax standpoint, never realise a profit. So if the company is declared bankrupt and the share value drops to $0 or it's just listed on the OTC exchange, it costs nothing to maintain the open short position, and they never pay tax on the original short sale gains. Really, the tax code needs to be updated to close the loophole and force profits to be booked once a company is bankrupt or delisted or the share price goes to zero. I imagine there's a heap of zombie company shares on Wall Street firms' books that they have never and will never pay tax on those profits from those trades. I could never understand the point of shorting. To me, it exposes you to a lot of risk. But now I realise that for these players, there is huge upside in that if they can short it and successfully bankrupt a company, they never pay tax on that trade at all. It's a huge incentive to short and participate in criminal actions to ensure that the trade plays out and the way they wanted it to go. And it's literally free money when they succeed. So that's why Citadel creates all these synthetic shares and naked shorts the company like AMC or Blockbuster into oblivion. Because if it goes bankrupt, they never have to cover that original short and therefore never pay tax on those initial profits or those initial short sale gains. For DE short, again, as well, they naked short the company the whole way down. They swoop it up at the very end and pick it up for pennies on the dollar, never pay tax on their naked shorts either, and they've just got something they just leave on the books. And then for Amazon, they get to remain king of the retail industry and never have any actual competition. And on top of that, Citadel and DE Shore reinvest all of their profits from the naked shorting back into Amazon and continue compounding their gains. Because obviously if Amazon has no competition and is the king of retail, their stock just continues to grow. And if we look at DE Shore, their third largest position is in Amazon, and they've been holding it all the way since 2007 with around $1.2 billion invested. And actually DE Shore sold off a large amount of their Amazon position after Jeff Bezos stepped down as CEO. Before the sale, they had around $2.1 billion invested in Amazon, and it was their largest position. And if we head on over to Citadel, Amazon is their fifth largest position with around $13 billion invested in call options. And if we head on over to Amazon and filter their holdings from largest to smallest, there's so many familiar names that come up, like State Street, Susquehanna, Jane Street, and obviously Citadel. Now obviously all of this is very tinfoil hat-like, but it does make a lot of sense and does give rise to a lot of potential for Amazon to be the one shorting AMC or coordinating everything. Guys, be sure to let me know down in the comments below what you think about Amazon and Jeff Bezos being the mastermind behind the AMC naked short. And as always guys, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to check out some of my others. Alternatively, subscribe to the channel and ding that notification bell, because that way you'll be alerted when I upload a new video. Cheers.